If you're looking for a premium steering stabilizer for your 2020 or newer JT Gladiator, this Fox Performance Series 2.0 TS steering stabilizer will be one to take a look at. Now this will be great for the Gladiator owner who is really into off-road performance and wants a well-engineered stabilizer to reduce feedback in the steering system, keeping them comfortable for high-speed off-road driving or some more technical trails. Now, not only will this help you with off-road performance, but if you have an aggressive wheel and tire setup that you want to keep in check when driving at higher speeds on the road and just want a little bit more control there, this is going to help as well. Now, as you can see by the setup of this stabilizer, this isn't going to be your average. Now, starting off with the through shaft design here, this is going to allow a neutral position in the stabilizer, which will offer equal steering pressure in each direction, so you're not going to have any push or pull from the stabilizer itself, offering really good control. Now, one of the invisible features here is the internal floating piston, which separates the oil and the gas in the shock, which will reduce any cavitation or any bubbles forming, which can cause shock fade over time if you work the shock really hard. So this specific method here will offer consistent performance and longevity out of the shock. Now, with the features that this offers, you can probably assume that this is going to be built incredibly well too. The shock body is made of a CNC Machine 6061 T6 billet aluminum to keep the shock cool, yet durable at the same time, and will have a nice hard anodized finish to prevent any corrosion on the shock body. Now, this will also come with a 5/8 inch hard chrome plated heat-treated alloy steel shaft to resist any damage to the shaft itself, like any nicks on the trail or any bending or breaking. Now, this will also include a quiet nitrile rubber bushings to allow for increased suspension articulation and, of course, a long lifespan compared to the factory that can get pretty brittle over time. Now, with being a premium setup, no modification is required here, which I do really like. This is going to be completely bolt-on with the included bracket to replace the factory axle bracket. Now, this will cost more than the average steering stabilizer, but will be worth the performance that you get with it at around $350. Now, when comparing this to other premium options on the site, Fox included, this will be in the middle ground, offering you more than the average with the through shaft design and the overall really robust build. Now, other options may include more than what you see here, like a reservoir or adjustability, which will cost you a decent amount more. And then on the other hand, most will feature more of a basic design with a standard shaft and shock body. Now, I think if you want more than the average, but don't necessarily need all the crazy performance from a reservoir or an adjustable option, then this is going to be a great one to pick. Now again, install is going to be pretty straightforward, but I am going to still give it a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. I would say a lighter 2, and it's going to take you about an hour to get the job done with some pretty basic hand tools. At this point, we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown of the install process and what it looks like step by step. That's going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, a 3/16 Allen head, a swivel adapter, 13 and 18 millimeter sockets. What's up, guys? Today we're installing a steering stabilizer on our Gladiator, so let's get started. So our first step to removing our factory steering stabilizer is to remove this 18 millimeter nut on the bottom of this carriage bolt. So we'll take an 18 millimeter socket on an impact gun to get this guy off. And then we can remove our carriage bolt. Now our next step is to remove these 3 13 millimeter bolts that are holding in our steering stabilizer bracket. So we'll grab a 13 millimeter socket to take these out. So now we can install our bracket onto our new steering stabilizer. So we're just going to lay it down, and then we have our 2 Allen head bolts that will be threading through these 2 holes. And then we can take a 3/16 Allen bit to tighten down these bolts. And now we're ready to get this installed onto the truck. So now we can install our new steering stabilizer. We're going to be reusing those factory 13 millimeter bolts for our bracket. And then we can take our 13mm socket to tighten these down. So now we can reinstall the other side of our new steering stabilizer. I've got the wheels turned to the left a little bit just to get the angle lined up for us. And then we can drop our factory carriage bolt through the top. And then on the bottom, we can reinstall our factory nut. And then we can tighten that down with an 18mm socket. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Fox Performance Series 2.0 TS steering stabilizer for your 2020 and newer Jeep Gladiator JT. Thank you for watching, and for all things Gladiator, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.